It's question and answer time. Does anybody have a question tonight? You.
So, you know, how do you deal with unexpected, like, spilled drinks in the audience, like things that you don't expect to happen in the crowd? How do you recover from that?
How do you recover from unexpected things happening during your show? Okay. First of all, let's go back to some of the fundamentals. Okay. So, which is not to memorize your words, because then it becomes a set. And if those things interrupt you, and they will, then you will go completely blank. Okay. So if you've got it in pictures, sounds, and feelings, you can deal with interruptions, look at the pictures, and come right back in where you were before. That's the first thing, is the rehearsal process sets you free to be more of in a relationship and be interrupted and recover. That's one of the big ones. Now, with that said, a lot of times these things are called floaters. They're like jokes and bits or things, etc., that float around you. That's why I call them float. You don't use them every show. You use them when that circumstance comes up, okay, and you have a joke for it. And those are things that, well, first of all, we all know about hecklers. So you should have at least like 5 heckle lines. You can pick them up in old joke books or sit down and write them or read insult joke books. Those are really good. And you do switching. Even though they're public domain, usually, well, that's a good idea, but I'd rather say it this way. Okay, but you get the gist of the insult of getting the person to shut up. But hecklers is a whole case unto itself that I'll discuss another time. But it's like you're saying, when somebody drops a drink, what do you say? What you do is make a list of all the things that could go wrong. Well, let's see, you guys might even want to help me in here. Somebody drops a drink. A wait staff is talking too loud. So you wanted a Corona and a martini. That happens in a show. What do you do during that, right? Sneezing, farting, cough. Oh, one time somebody farted. The whole place just stank to high hell, you know. Kayla came out and said, "Who shit themselves?" I mean, she had something to say. She called it because she just couldn't let it, I don't want to say linger. But it was horrendous. Anyway, what are all the things like that? Somebody drops a tray, a blender from a bartender, you know what I mean? Right during the whole joke and stuff like that. People having a conversation. Way in the back, they're having a conversation. Trying to think of calendar dates. Okay, when this is going to be St. Patty's Day on our show. Oh, we should have a joke for that. Come out, have a joke for dealing with that, as with every other basic holiday that we have out there. But it's anything, and people coming in late. That happens a lot. Somebody comes in late. What do you say? You're going to want to have a joke for all these unexpected things. And the more you perform, you're going to be adding stuff to that list. Because stuff does interrupt your show. Okay? And sometimes it's in hindsight that you kind of go and write a joke. And so I was at I used to perform at the Renaissance Fair. I had a character called the Obscene Juggler. And the answer to your question is my balls. That's what I juggle. And I was doing a show, and I was doing like 5 or 6 shows a day. They're about 20, 25 minutes long. And there was this guy with all these feathers, weird peacock feathers, and a weird costume. It wasn't Renaissance at all, and he walked around with a mastiff. You know what a mastiff is? It's basically a St. Bernard that's short hair, big jowls, slobbers, but the dog is enormous. And he walks out into an opening over here. The whole audience goes, whoom. And I'm like, trying to get him back, and it took me a while, and he's standing there, staring at him because, he's such a spectacle, okay? And so I went home that week, and I had the whole week thinking and looking over joke books and fretting around and thinking about it. Finally, I twisted an old joke because I knew sometime in the course of the 6 weeks he was going to come back in and be there, and I wanted to be able to handle it if he did. So then, the very next day, that next Saturday, I'm up there and I'm doing writing the show, and he walks out like he did before because he likes the attention, and he knew he was getting the attention. And I just looked at him and went, "Sir, you there, you, that's a nice pig you've got." And he said, "It's not a pig, it's a dog." And I said, "I was talking to the dog." Place came apart, everybody's back on me, and then I pick up my show and start to rebuild the rhythms that I would build with them and stuff. And the fun part about this story is that after that show, I'm collecting money, passing the hat, and bump into him. This guy's huge, like 6'7". And he went, "Yeah, you got a big laugh on me." And I went, "Yeah, I did. Yes, I did." That was a good one, wasn't it? He went, "Well, you want to do it every show?" I went, "Yeah, could you do it between this bit and this bit?" And walk out right after this bit, and then we'll do that. And for the rest of the fair, he did that like 2 or 3 times a day for me. And I looked like a genius. Anyway, the point is that you know, list all the things that you think can happen during a show, things that, you know, and they're crazy things, but there's a lot of things that I guarantee you, if you perform as a professional, will repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. And if you have, like I had that comment, you have that comment to bring the audience from looking at that whatever incident and bring them all back to you so you can continue into your show, then that puts you much more in charge of the show because you go in prepared for the unexpected.